One of the key problems and challenges I've noted in many organizations is chairing a board meeting. Now, you could be a private company or a family business, doesn't matter the size and complexity of your organization. But one thing that I've noted and a common pattern that I keep on getting this question is that, Vijay, how do we really chair a board meeting successfully? So I want to share with you the 5 keys to chairing a board meeting successfully. Hi, my name is Vijay Mistry and I'm a business transformation and leadership strategist, and I'm an advisor to CEOs and companies globally. So today I want to share with you something which seems to be a big challenge in many organizations, and this is chairing a board meeting successfully. I have noted in many instances, and I've observed it myself as a board member in many organizations. And I'll give you an example here. I was in one particular board, it was in the service sector, and here's what happened is that in the board meeting, there were one or two who were dominating the conversation. That's just one simple example. In another board meeting, the board members were not well prepared. So these were some of the key challenges that I have come across, and I keep on getting this question from many who chair boards globally across the globe. And I just wanted to share these keys because I believe that this will give you the impact, this will give you the traction, this will help you to add more value. Because at the end of the day, the purpose of having these board meetings is to add value, is for board members to contribute value so that the company is more sustainable, and at the same time the decisions are so impact driven that it sort of helps the organization to scale up. So the first key to chairing a board meeting successfully is boundary driven mechanism. Now, what do I mean by boundary driven mechanism? Think of a football pitch, and I'm talking about here in London, United Kingdom, we have football teams like Liverpool, Manchester United, and all these teams who play. And in a football pitch, what happens is there are certain boundaries. So, players can't play beyond those boundaries. Similarly, when you are chairing a board meeting, what you really need to do is stick to the agenda. You need to stick to the agenda completely. In one particular organization, I was a board member, and the chair went off tangent discussing something on receivables, which was not part of the agenda. We were just looking at the macro perspective itself. So you have to make sure that it is fully focused on the agenda. And the second point is stick to the point as well, the points in the agenda. So whatever the items in the agenda are, make sure that you stick and focus to those particular core points. Because what's going to happen is when you stick to the agenda and when you discuss on the core points itself, that is where you will be able to get maximum leverage from all the board members. So make sure that you stick to the agenda no matter what. And if you see that there is that deviation taking place, or if you see a board member sort of deviating from the core point, you can obviously say, look, that is a great point, but let's have that discussion offline, because you need to make sure that time is very important and the discussions are grounded to what the agenda items are all about. The second point I want to share with you is this quote: chance favors the prepared mind, by Louis Pasteur. You need to be 100% prepared. I have noted board members who are not prepared and also chairpersons who are not prepared. In fact, in one particular manufacturing organization, this chair who was brought in from one of these international accounting firms was basically looking at his phone while also chairing this particular meeting. What sort of impression does that give you? What sort of discussions are you really having? What is that tone you're trying to bring? So you need to be 100% prepared. Discipline, my friends, and practice is where you will be able to gain more momentum at the end of the day. So here's what I would like you to consider is that minimum 7 days prior to the board meeting, make sure all the board papers are given to the board members, giving them specific instructions to make sure they are fully prepared. because at the end of the day, you will note exactly who are prepared and who are not prepared, because there's this cycle of board evaluation which you really need to do as to what sort of contribution you're getting from the board, what are the gaps, what are the weaknesses, so you can overcome those. Anything between 7 and 14 days depends on the size and complexity of your organization. Make sure that all the board papers are distributed to all board members. Number two, make sure that you fully understand the business from 50,000 feet down to 50 feet. And why is this important? Because you, as a chair, will be sort of voicing out, and you will be championing the discussions or steering the discussions in the right path itself. So you need to make sure that you are 100% prepared, and you need to know what the discussions are, what sort of questions you want to really pose as well, and what are some of the discussions that can come out of the board. So you really need to be 150% prepared when it comes to chairing a board meeting successfully. Which brings me to the third point, which is return on board time. The return on board time is where the leverage is. And I touched on this, but here's the thing. You need to make sure that the discussions are focused, like I mentioned, not no distractions at the end of the day. But here's another thing. As a chair, try speaking less. You need to get perspectives from everybody, because perspectives itself is 10,000 IQ points. This is where you're going to get the board members' insights. So you need to collect all these perspectives. So, in other words, you need to come out with a balance whereby you don't dominate the discussions. In one organization, there was this chair who was dominating all the discussions just because he was the owner of the company. You don't need to do that. You need to empower others to contribute. This is the whole idea. So speak less within whatever the points are, condensed within those particular discussion points, and let everybody contribute. That is going to help you to get maximum value from everybody. You'll get maximum impact from the whole discussions itself. And so let's now move to the fourth point, which is again extremely important, which many miss out. The fourth point is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful of all these keys of how you can chair your board meeting successfully, and that is immersion. So, what do I really mean by immersion? In the discussions, you need to make sure you have complete eye contact. You give your full undivided attention to whichever board member is speaking, and make sure that you are fully immersed in the discussions. It's no longer about active listening, it's more about empathy, it's more about emotional intelligence. Now, here's the thing which many miss out, is that emotional intelligence is going to heighten the discussions, and it will take your whole board to the next level altogether. You'll be able to have this advanced forward thinking insights which will help you to navigate the company more effectively. This is why we identify signals. So how do we identify signals? It's through emotional intelligence. Elevate your emotional intelligence. Make sure you give your full undivided attention without any distractions from any other board member. So if one is speaking, let them speak, so long as it's within the agenda and it's within the point of discussion. So you need to make sure, without any interruption, give that full undivided attention to the board member. And finally, the final point I want to raise here is obviously this one voice concept we have, which means that unanimous decisions are being made. But here's the thing, the ones who do not agree to the decisions, you need to make sure that you give the meaningful interpretation. After all, it should be about 70-80% facts, and 20% is intuition. It's that's where the risk level comes in. But at the end of the day, if you've got the facts, if you've got meaningful interpretation, that is what is going to really take you to the next level. It will take your board to the next level, it will take your company to the next level. But I don't want to stop there. So there's one extra point I want to add to the 5 keys of chairing a board meeting successfully, and that is action plan. the end of the meeting, make sure you summarize all the points and make sure you reiterate whatever the discussions are, whatever the action points are, whatever the timelines are, whatever the feedback measures are. All that is discussed within the last 10 minutes, where you just reiterate uh, whatever the final condensed points that you have and whatever has been discussed. So, my dear friends, look, these are some of the points which will help you to chair a board meeting successfully. It will take you to another level, and I believe it's going to make a profound impact moving forward. If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share and like, which only inspires me to do value driven videos moving forward. Thank you very much. Bye for now.